Hey, Washington football fans, welcome back. Now, recently I did a video on my prediction of who would be our starters on defense, and it got pretty good responses, and it had a lot of debates down in the chat and the comments. And some people requested I do one for the offense. I hadn't considered doing one for the offense because I thought it was kind of cut and dry, but there there are some players I think that are kind of a little bit of a surprise, and we've added some new players here recently. So I'm gonna go over who I think is gonna be the starters, or kind of who is gonna fill out the offense. Maybe not all starters, but just how the offense is looking in general here. So I'm gonna start off first off here. No surprise, Terry McLaurin. This is our guy. He's our number one. There's no disputing that. He's a baller. He's gonna have the best season of his career this year. He's got a better situation at quarterback than he's had, and he's got a group around him that's going to take that pressure off of him so that the opposing defense isn't doubling or triple teaming him. And McLaurin graduates from scary to terrifying this year. How'd you like that pun, guys? Next up, Curtis Samuel is going to be our wide receiver 2, and he's a beast. Just an offensive weapon from everywhere on the field, from the slot, out wide, from the backfield. Just crazy position flex. And his position flex also, I think, lets us keep an extra wide receiver on the team. I really think that he'll flex as the fourth running back, so we won't need to carry, a fourth running back on the team. He'll kind of flex into both positions, and that'll let us keep 7 wide receivers like we did last year. So, yeah, that's good because we went from being pretty dry at wide receiver to kind of having a pretty good group we'd like to keep together. So, I think he helps us do that a bit. And then we got De'Ami Brown. In my opinion, one of the biggest steals of the draft. Okay? Best deep threat coming out of the draft. And he's a guy that gives us a true deep threat on this team. He's going to be able to take the tops off of the opposing defense. And the way he does it is actually very impressive to me. Like, he isn't a Tyreek Hill style speed demon that just blows by everybody. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a fast guy, but he's a 4.4 fast guy. The way he gets past everybody is just pure awesome technique. The way he gets off the line, what they call route variants, is crazy. How he creates separation with, kind of slowing down and bursting at different times throughout the route, stutter steps and fakes, just slowing down and taking off at calculated times, just gets the defender's hips in the wrong places, and he creates separation and leaves them behind. And just the intelligence that he uses to do this, I think he's fully capable of the full bag of route tricks. Like, he can run the whole tree just because of how he understands and does what he does just with the deep route tree they stuck him in North Carolina. Like, I think this guy definitely can be very close to a Terry McLaurin type of wide receiver. And on top of that, just like Terry, he's an amazing contested catcher too. So we're going to have basically two Terry McLaurins out there. So how about that? And then on here to wide receiver 4 or the slot guy maybe. And here's my first little surprise here. Now, we signed Adam Humphries, and people are going to go, hey, he's definitely going to be the slot guy. But we drafted Dax Milne at the very end of the 7th round, and athletically, these guys are basically a wash. And Milne is slightly better in the agility drills. Now, he was top 3 route runners coming out in this draft. Super polished routes. And that's kind of Adam Humphries' deal. He gets open by being a crisp route runner. Now, Milne is a little bigger than him and a little more agile. And again, that leads to him having more upside as a route runner. So I don't see any reason to keep Humphries on the team when you have the younger, bigger, more upside version for cheaper, So outside of familiarity with Ryan Fitzpatrick, there's no reason not to have Dax Milne as the guy. And it's something we could use. We could use that, slot possession guy. I think Dax Milne's floor is Adam Humphries, and his ceiling is somewhere near Jordy Nelson. And, I mean, that would be a great addition to the wide receiver group we got going on now. Now that kind of leaves some guys I'm really pulling for, like just outside the starting lineup, but like I said, we're going to have 7 wide receivers on the team, I think, and that gives Kelvin Harmon an ability to fight his way onto the team. I'm really hoping he can come back physically as good as he was and show improvement after the injuries. We could use that big, strong, contested catch kind of guy. He gives us a good possession type, pull it down wide receiver. And like I said, Curtis Samuel's position flex has given these guys a path to stick on the team or make it on the team, I think. And then Antonio Gandy Golden, same thing. He had a horrible rookie season. He caught COVID. He didn't have mini camps of any kind. And then he got injured when he did get on the field. But this guy, man, 6'4", 220-pound horse, man. And he had some quicks in college. So I think he gets a shot, and hopefully he does, the most with it. And either of these guys, if they come out and kind of live up to their potential, these guys could easily be that 4th wide receiver that kind of makes it onto the field. Also, I think Cam Sims, he's going to be the 7th guy. He's going to make it on. He got re-signed by us for next to nothing, and he's shown little flashes. I think it leaves Steve Sims and Isaiah Wright kind of out the pasture there. And I mean, there's a chance they can make it on the practice squad. Where like players like Dax Milne, he's not like, if we put him on the practice squad, he's gone. That's just how it is. The Jets don't really have much at wide receiver. I think they got a little cute in the draft. They were expecting Dax to go undrafted and then scoop him up afterwards. But if he hits the practice squad, Zach's going to be like, yo, get my dude. And he's going to be a Jet. So Isaiah Wright and Steve Sims kind of have the probably have to hit the practice squad. And anybody outside of those guys that I mentioned that are on the roster, they're gone. They're just camp bodies. Now on to the offensive line. I'm gonna talk about the guys here to watch, like the ones I think are gonna be the starters. Like, we have a ton of other guys that are fighting to add depth. But as it stands, we got pretty much 2 starting level offensive lines. And we also have bookend franchise tackles being developed also. So first off, Charles Leno, we just signed. I'm pretty sure he's probably going to win the starting left tackle job ahead of Lucas, just like he did in Chicago. He's gonna hold it down. He's gonna give us an incremental improvement over Lucas at left tackle, but still, I think he wins out the job. And Lucas, I mean, he could be about as high quality as you can get as a swing tackle in the NFL. But if Morgan Moses starts to get nicked up or has some injuries, or if, he just doesn't look as good in training camp, Cornelius Lucas could definitely end up being the starting right tackle as well. He can do either, and he can do either well. And I honestly think he'd be an upgrade at the right tackle position. And we'd have a strong unit with both those guys on the outside. And then, we got Sam Cosmi that we drafted. That guy is the future at the left tackle position for us. Leno and Lucas are only under contract for this year. It's the second year of Lucas's contract. Leno only got a 1-year prove-it deal. I still think that Cosmi is being groomed to be our franchise left tackle. And I think he'll be ready to take over next year and lock that position down. So those guys are going to fall back to being, some veteran depth. But at this point, they are definitely very serviceable, very high quality, starting tackles. Then we got Eric Flowers back. He's going to be the starting left guard. I think Flowers is going to pick right up where he left off before he headed to Miami. He plays his best football in Washington. He's going to help Leno give us a dominant left side of the line. I mean, whatever quarterback we got back there is going to be well protected. And then Antonio Gibson, the whole running back group, they're going to have nice lanes to run through. And he's going to have an even more productive season this year. I mean, behind the line, we're going to have assembled, definitely, even with all the passing we do, and even with the Air Coryell offense, look for him we're going to get him above 1,000 yards this season. Then at center, we got Chase Roullier, top 3 centers in the NFL. Super underrated part of our line. This guy continues to give us more of the same this season. He's going to provide excellent stability in the middle. of this already underrated line. It got even deeper and more talent filled this season. But Chase Roullier, he's the anchor there in the middle. He's always a quality piece, and he's going to keep on being that. We got Keith Ishmael there backing him up. Solid, flexible interior offensive lineman. He can play all along the interior there. And he's developing into a player that can keep the ship afloat if Roulier goes down. So that's very important to have. Right guard, we got Brandon Sheriff. He's playing some of his best football right now. And he's had a great career, so I mean that says a lot. Let's hope he stays healthy and earns this enormous franchise tag that he's playing on right now. And who knows, it'd be awesome to find a way to keep him next year. But at the very least, we're going to get a solid season out of him this year. Let's hope it's a full one. Wes Schweitzer, that guy, he's like Lucas has been at tackle. Like Lucas is a solid swing tackle. He's been a solid swing tackle. Like one of the best backup swing tackles in the league. That's what Wes Schweitzer is at guard. Super solid backup guard. I mean, he gives us security knowing if we have a guard go down, even one as high level as Sheriff, we got a guy that can fill in without an impactful drop in production. This guy's worth his weight in gold. He's definitely going to make the team. Super glad to have him. Right tackle, Morgan Moses. Now, he could be the starter, health permitting. He's got 2 years left on his contract. But we could be nearing the end of the road here for Moses as the starting right tackle for us. He's done a great job, too. He's taken a lot of unnecessary flack from us fans over the years. I mean, I've done it a time or two, but this guy has constantly played his heart out for us. He's played through injuries. He gave it his all, and he helped give this team some stability on the right side. But, now we just have some younger, more talented players poised to take over. And I think Lucas can give a better performance at the position. So, I see Cornelius Lucas taking over as the right tackle. And, man, Moses kind of ends up just being some depth this year. Or, maybe he's in great health and he holds that position down. But at the very least, he's going to be on the team this year. Just don't know if he's going to keep his starting job. And then we got Sadiq Charles. He's in the same spot as Cosme. I think he's the future of the right tackle position. He's got a solid starter in front of him, so we got time to develop him. And a lot of people are already considering him a permanent guard transition. But I think that was just a route to get him on the field to develop. Unfortunately, he got hurt right off the bat. But now he's healthy. Expect him, to continue to get better. I think the team's grooming him to be the replacement of the future for the right tackle. Like, we're going to have some awesome, talented, franchise bookends at the tackle position here. Not this year. Maybe we'll see some of it this year. But, think of next year, the high-level tackles we're going to have out there. It's awesome that the way this line has been built, we have the ability to do that, to groom these super talented young players. Now we're on to the running backs. Antonio Gibson's running back one. And like I said a while ago, I think he's going to explode this year. The further melding and the advancement of the offensive line mixed with him coming into his second year in the offense, Gibson's going to outshine those other big money running backs in our division, I think, like the Zekes and maybe the Saquons making all that money. Well, Gibson, he's gonna ball out and really make everybody like, see, why you pay him why you pay them so much? Like, you could just get a guy like this in the third round. So he was already doing so well when our line was in disarray at the beginning of last year. As it got better, he got better. This year we're going to be blowing big holes in front of him, and even with Scott Turner running his Air Coryell, I think Gibson still passes 1,000 yards easily this year. And then running back two, kind of the spell back or short yardage, the guy that's actually going to be taking it out of the backfield when Gibson needs to come off the field. Jared Patterson. I loved this guy in college. Early on, he was my favorite coming in the draft, but I let his pro day and his size kind of sway me away more towards guys that were closer to what we have in Gibson and McKissick, like Kenneth Gainwell that the Eagles drafted. But I was really excited to see that we got him after the draft. He's a perfect change of pace and short yardage, wrecking ball to spell Gibson. And I think he ends up very productive in that role. And yeah, just going to be a great running back too. Then you got J.D. McKissick, third down back and offensive weapon extraordinaire. I think he continues to improve and be utilized perfectly in Scott Turner's offense. Even with, the bigger bump in production, I think he's going to, this running back group is in general is going to take a huge step up in production. And with that, J.D. McKissick's going to, even with kind of probably having to split balls out of the backfield with Samuel, he's still going to ball out. And I'm very excited to see what happens. On to the tight end group. We got Logan Thomas as tight end one, another player that hit very good stride for us as the year progressed. He's another player I think that can take a bigger step up in production. Scott knows he can depend on him. Look for him to get even more opportunities this year. I think he's ready to take full advantage of them. Look for him to have an even bigger breakout this year. Scott's going to draw some stuff up for this guy, and he's going to ball out. Then we got John Bates. He's tight end 2. This kid's going to come right in and go to work. He gives us a solid blocking option that we didn't really have last year. That's something else that spells some good things for the running back group. And that might actually get him on the field even more than Logan, because he's going to be out there when we need a blocker, not just a passer, or a pass catcher. But, he's got tons of untapped potential as a pass catcher. And look for Scott to scheme this guy into a very solid rookie year of production. Then we got Sammis Reyes, tight end 3. If he grasps the game even a little bit, Scott will get him involved in the offense early on. In the passing game. At the very least, He's going to be like a jumbo receiver extraordinaire. Okay. He could end up being an all-star at the position if he's handled correctly. I think Turner can scheme him like simple routes to get like steady production and give him chances and like big chances to make huge impacts in the game, even just in that jumbo wide receiver role, while like slowly developing everything else to make him a complete tight end. Just his athleticism. Samus could be a massive surprise boost to this offense and be one of the best undrafted free agent conversion players ever. Like, it's a long shot, but at the very least, like, he can be schemed to be a solid contributor. I'm really excited about this guy. And yeah, I mean, he's tight end 3, but he could just blow up and be one of the best in the league. So, super, super pumped about that. Our quarterback position, it could go a couple ways. There's a couple ways it could go that could equal a Super Bowl win, honestly. I'm very much Team Taylor. So Heineke could come in here and he could be our Kurt Warner. He could do well. He could be our Kurt Warner. He could just, hey, out of nowhere, we got a franchise quarterback. Or, he could do really well and then everybody's worried about his injury history. He could do well and then get hurt, and then Fitz steps in like Nick Foles. And that could end up with a Super Bowl win. Or, Fitz could lead us from the start like Brad Johnson did with the 0-2 Bucks. Be a serviceable journeyman that piloted the offense well enough to let a dominant defense win a Super Bowl. Anyway, I think we could, have a very impressive season. Like I said, I'm still very much Team Heineke. I'm thinking he could win the job and start the year with fire and excitement. While he has injury concerns in the past, after he got his contract, I saw him on the Junkies on the Fan, and he talked about he learned not to put his body on the line and why he did that in the past, and that he would play smarter given a starting job. Like, he did that to make the most of his, very limited opportunity. And if he actually was given the starting job, he'd be much smarter about it. Like, he wouldn't have dove for the goal line there. He would have just ran out of bounds at the 4, and then took the 4 tries to get it in the end zone with the rest of the team. But I think he can definitely play smarter and be a big boost to this offense. Now, people are worried about the sample size being so small, but there were tons of people that were willing to trade away whatever it took to get Trey Lance, and you just can't get a smaller sample size than that. I mean, this guy's only got a game and a half, but it was against, the Super Bowl champions and then a solid Carolina. Like, it was against NFL competition. Like, everybody that wanted Trey Lance was just based on his athletic traits. Taylor's, kind of in that impressive, small sample size boat, but again, it was against high level NFL talent. I really think he can be our out of nowhere franchise quarterback. The sequel to the Cinderella story that was Kurt Warner. And if he does, if he is what we think he can be, the team is dynasty level now. Okay? If Taylor Heineke can be similar to the player that Kurt Warner was, which I think he can, then we got something special and everything's together on this team to be dominant. If Taylor gives us 15 games at least similar to the game and a half he's played for us otherwise, we're going to rock the league. We're going to take the league by storm. And that's what I'm really hoping for. I hope Taylor gets the shot. Then we got Fitzmagic. He's better than everything we had outside of Taylor's flashes last year at quarterback. So if he's the starter, it's still a big upgrade to the offense to go along with all of our improved weapons. And if Taylor gets the job, Fitzmagic is perfectly capable of being that security blanket in case of injury. Like, either way, he's a smart pickup. He's either just a better, higher quality game manager that's going to be the starter, or he's the perfect backup in case Taylor goes down. Either way, great pick. He can be the Nick Foles type hero at the end of a season if Taylor goes down. Or if he gets the job over Taylor, he's the Brad Johnson to the Bucs. Either way, I think our quarterback position is roughly a 2,000 times better than it was last year. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. But that's how I got the starting lineup. Let me know what you guys think down below. Any of these wide receivers going to make it that I didn't mention actually be, the top 4 guys. And it's probably going to be down the comments. Go ahead and tell me how much you hate that I said Dax Milne's going to be the 4th guy. I know that's where a lot of the hate's going to come from. But yeah, if you like the video, please like the video. Comment down below. And please, guys, subscribe. I just starting out here. And I have a ton of individual, different, unique viewers. But, over 10,000 people, apparently. But, I'm right around 200 subs. So if you guys could subscribe to the channel, it would mean so much to me. And if you watched this far, if you watched it all, I love you guys. Peace.